Well, you handled yourself pretty nice back there.
What's cool about David and the conversation I had with Nolan about him is that he's trying to win Ellie over by being honest with her. And here's the part where he's like, I feel like she's ready. I'm going to kind of reveal myself.
No such thing as luck.
And I think like I could still get her to come around.
Now, you see, I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Sure.
The other interesting thing, thematically, that's everything happens for a reason is the same thing that Marlene really believes. That everything happens, like it's something she repeats to Joel at the end. But you're kind of seeing how all these characters are just, how much they're willing to go for what they believe in.
When you talked about like being surprised by your own writing, was that a moment like that, or was that something that you had intentionally done to where those characters were going to?
No, I think it's just something you think about, and there's a theme that just kind of sticks around in the project, and then characters end up talking about that stuff because you're thinking about it all the time.
Traveling with a little girl. You see, everything happens for a reason.
Again, another one of those moments where you think Ellie's got control.
Don't get upset. It's not your fault.
Yeah, and then James there.
I'm just a kid.
I love that.
James, lower the gun.
No way, David. I'm not gonna let her go.
It was such a small role, but I really like what Ruben added there. And that the dynamics between James and David, how there's conflict between these two characters, but there's still respect, and he's still listening to David, even though he's questioning his leadership right there.
No, that's not your concern.
Part of me, the way I read that was every time James looked at David, it was like, who the fuck are you right now? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, he was putting on a show and he saw it.
Oh, thanks.
To me, it's interesting how David almost treats Ellie like quarry. Like, you know, you're a sport.
Yeah.
Again, Ellie having this kind of bullshit detector, you see her scared here because I think she realizes there's something really wrong with these guys. I don't know what. I just need to get away.
So interesting from watching this, though, I would completely believe David. I'd follow that guy. It's crazy.
It's because you're a cannibal. This little moment, this breath before going to see what's downstairs. And again, for players, it would have been like a while now since they've seen Joel.
Joel?
Once again, Joel's asleep.
I only managed to get a little bit of food.
I love how these roles have switched, too. Where now it's, you know, the protected taking care of the protector.
Move your arm.
It used to be open, and then we were like, we should probably stitch that up.
It was also on the other side. We had to come back and reshoot it, too. Oh, continuity.
Actually, this one, I remember we shot this one again because this is going Naughty Dog method. Everybody can like say the 2 cents. Amy Puckett, one of our coordinators, said, "Where's Ellie's backpack?" And we shot it without thinking about Ellie's backpack. And it was like, oh, we should bring it back in and use it as a pillow. Right. It's like such a cool little touch.
You're gonna make it.
Yeah, those shivering things was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's a towel thing, right?
Let's see, you did that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, obviously he animated it, but
a great moment of them falling asleep next to each other too. Again, her watching over him. To me, you really get a sense of the oppressiveness of the world with all the introduction with all of these different kinds of enemies. It's like you feel like you're fighting this multi-front battle. It's not just these are the bad guys, and it's so clear.
I'll come back for you.
Yeah, and just how much Ellie's now willing to put herself on the line to just get them away from Joel.
Wakey, wakey.
It's interesting how much audio has made all of this way creepier. We were watching it without audio.
It's like the foley of what he's cutting up and back and stuff there. Ugh.
Time to eat.
And that's the first time you actually see what it is that you've heard them refer to it.
No, actually, this is the first time you just see it, and it's again, I really wanted to downplay the whole cannibalism thing. It's just something they have to do.
Super.
He comes to bring her a tray of food.
This was so cool to watch when you guys were doing this scene. It's just like this battle of the wills where he's just trying to like get in her head, and she will not let him. She won't give in.
Yeah, this was one of my favorite scenes to shoot because
Some human helping on the side.
there's just so much there. I mean, the cannibalism and then him being all like rapey and molesty. Like, I don't know. I'm a fan of the dark stuff, which you know. So when I read it, I was like, yes. Which makes me sound like an awful person, which I am. So
I don't know what that says about me that I wrote this.
I know. I remember that night that I went home, I was just in a funky mood.
We have to take care of our own by any means necessary.
It was like it was a cooler thing to read about it than actually having to go in there. It was really hard to do.
Yeah.
You're gonna chop me up into tiny pieces.
See, again, I see David being this very gracious person. There's
I mean, everything he's saying is kind of true. It's like, you kill to survive, we kill to survive. It's just what you do in this world. But again, Ellie just is feeling there's something else here.
I still don't look at David as a bad guy at this point.
Oh, that's what too is like you were talking to me before we got this whole David thing, and it's like, you want to work with Nolan North? I want to do a scene with Nolan North. I want to do this. And I was like, and I'm like, oh, we cast Nolan North. Like, great. I'm like, but you don't act with him at all.
Jeez.
Yeah, I feel super lucky I got to work with him because
He's the king.
he's so fun to work with.
I mean, he really owned it. He threw himself into it, like
Yeah.
darkness and all. And again, talking to him about it, he's like, I don't see him as dark. This is just what he wants. That's it.
I think David believes his own line of bullshit. Or whether it's bullshit or not, I think David believes that he actually is doing the right thing.
I mean, that's the other thing we discussed with Nolan is like there's a religious part to David, even though I never wanted that to come out in the script. But he really kind of believes that he's been sent here and he has this destiny that nothing can really harm him.
What am I supposed to tell the others now?
And you really took that on the chin that day, too.
Man, this whole sequence with David, I was so beat up and bruised.
I remember you came back the following day with bruises.
I was like, guys, look at me. I had bruises
We're like,
everywhere.
oh, that looks bad, but
We're making a
gonna
game
do some more
now.
this-
Yeah.
I love that you made it the little girl that broke your fucking finger.
Yeah. That was a good call, Neil.
Well, he calls her stupid little girl, so she throws it back in his face. I also like that she gives him her name under her conditions, which is, I'm going to give it to you, but I'm going to insult you.
Right.
I also like the fact that Ellie is still so strong that even though she's in that cage, she's still,
kind of in control.
yeah.
But it's a much stronger, that's a different strength than you'd shown anywhere else in the game before. It's like that winter was a really, really hard winter for you.
Here's another funny scene.
Well, and you're wrong. I did get to actually act with Nolan in this. Nolan was a trooper and let me torture him.
Although we did record over his lines with Liam O'Brien.
That's right, the lovely Lob.
The lovely Liam O'Brien. This actually is my favorite scene in the game.
Is it really?
And it, after I saw you guys shoot it, and then when I saw the animation and everything, I was like, I just love the scene.
What is it about it you love so much?
I love that Joel is just quietly violent. And that you pop off the guy's
This is his
kneecap.
job, right? This is what he's good at.
Yeah.
He's
It's
just-
like,
And it's also for me, when we talked about this, it's like Joel going back to this, like, all right, you want this guy? I'll be this guy. We've spent almost the entire game for him to stay away from being that guy. But in this, and it's like, I still
it's
know
like
how
we're
to
going
fuck you
back to
up.
the moment in the beginning we saw him with Robert and Tess.
Yeah.
This is what he does. This is what he's done in this world.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. He's good at it.
Chokes him out and breaks his neck right there. All for the benefit of that guy.
And it's like, if there's any like notion that someone has hurt Ellie, then I'm gonna make every single one of you guys pay.
That's all right. I believe it. No, wait!
And actually, this is the scene where I think he got beat up the most.
Yeah.
Where you
It
did?
was- Yo, yeah.
Yeah.
I had bruises over my whole entire body. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, this wasn't stunts. This was you.
Yeah.
I warned you.
The thing that I love about this scene is how much Ellie's using her brains and her physicality, like everything to like get out of this situation.
Right there. Roll up my sleeve. Look at it!
I'll play along.
What'd you say?
Ruben helped so much during this part because choreographing
happens for a reason,
sort of
right?
all of the little movements were so particular. And I think everybody sort of knew at this point that I kept hurting people. So Ruben was like, you have to give her the foam knife because she will hit me.
You were beating the shit out of that foam pad. I don't know what you were channeling.
I have a lot of anger.
Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
It's okay. It's me. It's me.
We did very few takes of this. This was like maybe 3 takes.
Yeah.
He tried to...
I just felt like so intense with each one. It was like, yeah, we got it. That's enough.
It's the first time that, you know, Ellie and Joel like embraces that physical contact.
Yeah.
And it's such a great choice, I think, for you to. The dialogue wasn't important.
Yeah, it was just a gesture. So it was like, just let the music take over, and it's the same theme from when his daughter dies.